Eagles. Yes, it pretty much brought in the Britton Covey replacement and speed, return specialist, everything you want. I like this guy, and I can't wait till we actually see more competition. We're going to talk about the kid, and we're going to be talking about Jahad Campbell as well, because Howie Roseman did give us an update on the injuries to Jahad Campbell, how he's doing, how much time he's actually going to miss, and is it really going to affect us this season? We're just talking this season. Okay, so let's get straight into it all.
A killer buried, but not dead.
Darren, we better turn around. Because I've seen enough horror movies to know any weirdo wearing a mask is never friendly.
Yo, what is going on, guys? I'm Howie on a fantastic day today. So we continue on undrafted free agents, rookie camp, and then soon to be OTAs, training camp. Everything is coming, which is great. And the competition is going to be unreal. Okay. Now, the Eagles made a move the other day on signing Giles Jackson or Giles Jackson. I don't know how to say his name correctly, but they pick up they pick up a wide receiver. It's got a lot of speed. He's a return specialist. Okay, what is he? 5'9", 187 pounds. I think he ran a 4.43, so he's got a lot of speed there. And was a Michigan transfer to Washington at Michigan as a return specialist, kickoff return, 290-plus yard touchdowns, and had his best season with Washington his last year in 2024, hauling in 85 receptions for 893 yards, 7 touchdowns. He also had 33 rushing attempts for 183 yards, 5.5 yards per carry, and 2 touchdowns during his college career, which is great. Okay, kick returner, explosiveness, speed. Look, I have to give the Eagles respect because they're bringing in a lot of type specialist guys, especially a wide receiver that might not make the active roster for depth purposes, but could be a specialist for this team if they bring value somewhere else. And I think Michael Clay has done a pretty good job. I think special teams could get better down the line. But if you can use a receiver, especially if you can really get a receiver during training camp and they really showcase a lot, not even just as a special teamer, as at least in the depth at wide receiver, where you can use them for jet sweeps or end arounds or, screen passes, like things that are quick, on top of the weapons that you have in this offense offensively. I mean, you can always use a guy like this that's just pure speed, good, can catch in stride and do some great things. So I feel really good about it. I feel like the guys they brought in so far are really good. I know they already have a return specialist they brought in, I think strictly for punt returns, and that kid we got from the Falcons, I forgot the name off the top of my head, but now you might have an actual kick returner. Now he's a little bit on the small side, and Britton Covey barely even played last year. But, there were times in the past couple years where they would sprinkle in Britton Covey in the offense and use him for quick slants or stuff like that, or just a dump off pass in open space. Defenses have to be on their heels for that, and to add in guys like that for specific plays as a third down receiver, or just at a specific moment type receiver where you need some quickness. I mean, to add him on the field wouldn't be a bad thing. Seen some of this kid's tape already, and the speed is just off the wall. But when you're a smaller size in the NFL that doesn't have a big frame, and unfortunately, you take those big hits, and you just can't take those big hits. Britton Covey takes a sideline hit. He has a messed up collarbone. I mean, that's all it really takes. So Cooper DeJean is off the punt returns. Okay. You don't have your kickoff return specialist from last year. Both of those guys are gone. DeJean's off punt returns. And I think your whole entire special teams is going to change. Besides your punter, it's pretty much as everything has been the same. So very happy with this, and I advise you to watch this kid because I think he's going to show some good things, and we hope so. And it gives you a lot of firepower on special teams, so I think that's what you need there. Now, the last thing we're going to talk about today is going to be Jahad Campbell. Okay, now Howie Roseman had a press conference the other day, or not even a press conference, but just an interview on just the, what's going on with Jahad Campbell's health. Okay. I understand there was knee issues, shoulder issues. I understand all of that. Now, he dropped in this draft. I think we know this. I think part of it was, and teams are just afraid at this point. to draft guys that are even dealing or just had something in the past. Josh Sweat, had a knee injury in college and he dropped to the 4th round. Might not even had a knee injury the year before he got drafted. You know what I mean? So teams are always afraid to, take chances on guys that have dealt with past injuries. And I think that's part of why the Eagles tried to trade up for him at 23. They couldn't get anything done with the Chargers, and then he kind of just went down the draft board a little bit, and they were able to just give up a 5th-round pick and move up from 32 to 31 in KC and go draft him, okay? Now, Howie Roseman is looking at this as, okay, well, he had surgery on his shoulder, okay, after the combine, okay? So he's still recovering. I mean, he looked pretty good at the draft. He was raising his arms. He was hitting the Eagles logo in the tunnel. I mean, he was doing all this other stuff. So Howie Roseman took a lot out of it and said, look, like, we don't need him for training camp. I mean, we don't need him for OTAs to rookie camp, okay? He compares this to the Cooper DeJean situation. Okay, Cooper DeJean didn't come into this offseason with an injury last year, but he missed a lot of time. He only made the 3rd preseason game. He came back for joint practice with the New England Patriots, and that was pretty much it. I mean, and then it took him about 4 or 5 weeks to pretty much get into the lineup as a full-time starter at the inside corner spot. So Howie Roseman doesn't even care. He's like, look, he's a 1st-round pick. He's got a lot of talent. He's going to be here long-term. And, this isn't a 5th, 6th-round pick that's getting hurt, okay? And the Eagles are just going to put him to the side. Like, he's going to get on the field, and it's not going to take him long to get where he's supposed to be. Even if he takes off a little bit in training camp, they're giving him the entire offseason to get to 100% health. Okay, that's how Howie Roseman is thinking about the situation, and that's what he said in the interview. Okay, and I understand the situation, like missing valuable time in rookie camp, OTA. Yeah, it's kind of sucks, especially rookie camp and missing a little bit of training camp. Yeah, especially as a rookie, that's a lot of time missed. You're kind of behind the 8 ball on a lot of things. You could mentally be prepared, but physically you got to be there. Because they don't need him right now and they could use him later, and God forbid he's got to miss a game or two, which I don't think it's going to come to that. But if that's the case, then you can afford to do that, and he'll come back and he'll be ready, and he'll be, they feel good about the linebacker position. I felt like they brought in a couple good linebackers, especially undrafted free agents for depth. I thought they drafted one from Georgia, the Smile kid. I thought they did a good job with him. And obviously signing Zach Bond to an extension was a big one for us. You have Trotter Jr. here. So I think they feel good about this linebacker spot. But if I've been all over the place, I do apologize, but this is why teams passed on him. He had a knee issue his freshman year of college. That's it. His freshman year of college, he had a knee issue, and he's been fine ever since then. And teams are like, oh, no, I don't want to draft him. And the Eagles are taking a chance here. But I'm not even worried about this at all, because the knee issue isn't even what's on the table right now. We're talking about how his shoulder is. That's it. We want, and if whatever time he's going to miss time. I don't care how long it is. I don't think it's going to go into the regular season, but he could miss, a couple weeks of training camp. Maybe. We'll see. But he will be ready by the regular season regardless. And they really they feel like they have a good enough defense right now, even if Jahad Campbell doesn't play in the regular season. Now, he can miss a few weeks, and he's back 100%, and we don't miss a beat. Okay? So we'll find out what happens when training camp hits, how many practices he's missing, when he comes back, how he's looking. We'll kind of go over all of that. So that was really the big update from Howie Roseman on his approach to not only drafting Jahad Campbell, but now how dealing with what he's going to deal with going into this offseason program, especially training camp, where potentially he could be missing a little bit of time. And that's fine with me. It's a first-round pick we're talking about, okay? Some of these late-round picks that have injuries in these training camps, they're done. Like, they're finished. Like, they'll never get a chance to see the field again. But because this guy's a first-round pick and he's a better player than a lot of other players on this roster, he's going to come back and he's going to get into the groove and he's going to look pretty good. So, I feel pretty good about it. We'll see what happens. And that's pretty much the update with Jahad Campbell and what's kind of going on there. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think about the situation with Jahad Campbell and everything going on there. And let me know what you guys think about Giles Jackson as well. And I think we're going to get pretty excited for special teams and some depth at wide receiver because, damn, we need it as much as possible. So other than that, guys, that's pretty much it. Make sure you subscribe to the channel for more Eagles news every single day. And definitely hit the like button because it helps out tremendously. So thank you and appreciate for you guys listening to my rants because sometimes we got to do that. But you guys enjoy it. I'll see you guys on the next one. Shakes what up, follow slide. Peace out, guys. Peace.